So just lastly, I forgot to introduce myself as I usually do, but my name is Rich Graves. I'm on the product management team at CA, and I help coordinate our community and help coordinate these calls. So you probably, hopefully, know my voice or at least my name on the community if you're active on the community. Today, Daniel Sasajima out of Brazil is one of our pre-sales experts on CSM, and he is probably our world-renowned expert on advanced reporting in CSM. He's a super guru in that area, and anytime anyone asks a question on the community about advanced reporting, I always tag him and say, at Daniel, help me out here. So he's going to walk through and do these 2 sessions this week and next week on advanced reporting and give you some great information. I'm really excited about this, and I know based on the very large number of attendees we have today that there's an excited audience of people on the phone as well. So Daniel, I will pass it over to you.
Okay.
All right, yep, I can hear you.
Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you, Rich, for the introduction. Today, I'm going to walk you through the advanced reporting feature. Advanced reporting allows us to build flexible interactive reports and dashboards on top of CSM data. This, as Rich mentioned, is the first of 2 sessions, and today I plan to cover the details of domain designer and data structures behind the reports. Next week, we will build the reports themselves, ad hoc views, reports, dashboards, etc. So, advanced reporting completely changes the way we get data from CSM. Before it, we had to use scheduled data extracts or live with cumbersome defined searches to create charts and finally get some dashboards in the end. Those were very limited because they used the production database, so a complex query could impact the performance for end users and the interface. With advanced reporting, we now can create reports on any information in the database through a visual interface that allows anyone to build their own reports with very little instructions. Just drag and drop fields to have tables, charts, or cross tables done. You can create new calculated fields right on the ad hoc builder, and in minutes you have new reports and dashboards done. Your dashboards can go from my tickets information, just like this one, where an analyst will know the current situation of tickets assigned to him, or maybe to his group or groups he's the leader. And you can have things like CSM usage information, where you know how many users have been connected to the system, and check on usage trends. On this dashboard you are seeing now, I have trends by hour for analysts, trends by hour for self-service, and trends by week. So you can build whatever you want. The data is in the database. You can extract it using advanced reporting. In these webcasts, we will work on this specific dashboard. This is a dashboard for the project centerpiece of CSM. And today we will build a domain that gives us all the information we need. Next week we will build the reports and finally the dashboard. Before we start, let's just understand a few things. Today we have 2 databases on CSM. The application database, which is used by the solution when you save your tickets, for example, and the advanced reporting database, which is replicated from CSM every 10 minutes and allows you to run your reports without impacting the performance of the production environment. Before you build your reports, you need to get the data together. You need fields that need to be joined across several tables. The data has to be filtered by business needs, and fields need user-friendly names so people can understand what is in there. Also, you need to secure data against unauthorized access when you use organization-based security. So the domain in Advanced Reporting performs all these functions. In addition, the domain could be used to localize the text on labels in your reports. So, a domain is a virtual view created and stored on the server without modifying the CSM database. Through a domain, users see columns or fields that have been joined, filtered, and labeled for their business needs, and security policies can limit the data users can access. So administrators define domains so users can easily build their reports using the ad hoc views. What we are going to see today is the administrator part of the report building. And next week, we will see what the users, analysts will do to build the reports. To manage the domain, the admin will use the domain designer. And here we have 6 tabs. On the tables tab, we have 2 panels, data source and selected tables. Data source has the tables and fields available in the CSM database. Selected tables has the tables and fields you are using in the domain. These are available for you to build reports. Even when you don't need to display the table directly in the domain, you need to move tables to selected tables whenever you need to create a join or derived table or calculated field that depends on it. A good understanding of the data structure on CSM will help when you have to select these tables. And you can use these documents on the community to understand what is in the database. Here you will find all tables and all fields that exist in the database. I'll just show you how this looks like. So this is just a Excel file. So I have 2 sheets. On sheet 1, I have all tables and fields that exist in the database with all the details on the fields, how they are configured, length, name, whatever information you want to understand, including the data type. What I use the most is the sheet 2, where I have a pivot table, and I can filter. For example, we are going to work with the project tables. They are named ITPM. I can see all ITPM tables here, select them, and just select multiple. And I can hit OK. I will have all the fields I have on these tables. If you open or if you expand, you will see comments and other tables where this field can be found. So, for example, ticket ID I have on ITPM tasks. Some rows will have comments that I have added, and you can add your own comments on your file. Okay, so back here, derived tables. In this tab, you can write a SQL query and build new views based on the tables you have selected on the Tables tab. So you basically are creating new tables. All you need to do is write your query, run it, select all fields you want, and give a name to your new table. Derived tables will behave as any other table in your domain, and they have a green icon that will help you to identify which table is the derived table and which one is not. So here you have the first 2 tables are derived tables. Okay. Once you have your tables and derived tables, you may need to create joins. And the idea is you create associations between tables so that the rows may be presented together in the same report. For example, if I want a report that will have tickets and CIs, I need to create a join between these tables so I can see everything in one single report. In this left table panel, you have the VApp item table, which is this tickets table. On the right table, I have the CRCI item rel, which will give me basic information on CIs and the relationship to the VApp item table. So you can create joins of 4 types. Here you have the different types. You can create an inner join. The result will contain only rows where I have tickets and CIs. So tickets that have related CIs will show up. CIs that have related tickets will show up. Tickets without CIs and CIs without tickets will not show up in the results. The left outer join will bring all tickets that are in my left table and related CIs when I have a related CI. If I don't have related CIs, it will bring just the ticket and leave the CI information blank. The right outer is the same as the left, but it will bring me the right table, in this case the CIs table. And if I have tickets related, it will bring it as well. And the full outer join, which is the last one, will bring me everything from both tables. If the ticket has a CI related to it, if there is a match, I will have ticket and CI information. If not, I will have just the tickets or just the CI information, but I will have everything.
Daniel, let me ask a quick question. There's one question that just came in. Can you build derived tables to access additional custom fields when you've reached the limit for the custom attributes pivot table? Does that make sense?
Yes, makes sense, and yes, you can do that. The custom fields are stored in a table from where we build the pivot tables. If you go directly to that table, you can create derived tables to extract that information from there. It's not very simple to do because this table will not store the fields as fields. In this table, you have field name and field value, and you have to search for that related to the ticket you want. So you can get information, but it's not very simple. I'm not sure how many custom fields we have as limit for pivot tables, but if this is a problem, I think we need to check on that, or maybe think differently in terms of the pivot table. If the person who will ask that question can send me an email, we can discuss that further.
Okay, thanks, Daniel. Go ahead.
So every drawing you create here will be represented in the right panel here in all joins or joins on selected table. Joins on selected table will bring only the joins for the left table you have selected. In this case, VApp item. If I click on joins on select table, I will see only those joins. Okay. Next step would be to create your calculated fields. Some information may need calculation based on one or more fields. For example, dates must be calculated from epoch time to UTC. In CSM, every date is stored as epoch, which is the number of seconds since 1917, January the 1st. So this is just a big number, and we need to convert them to UTC date time using a specific calculated field. You can also create concatenations, for example, for names, last name, first name, and so on. So for the calculated fields, you will use the Domel syntax. It is a Jaspersoft syntax. And you can also use some of the SQL functions, not all of them, but you can use some SQL functions. And you can find detailed information on what you can and you cannot do on another document I have created yesterday based on information I got from Jasper. And this is in the community as well. You can just go there and get these details. Okay, now we have all the data. We may need to create some filters. A filter on the domain will reduce the data that is needed or wanted in the reports. That will reduce the size of the results on queries and improve server and reports performance. You can also create filters in the report, but here you are filtering the whole domain. You are filtering everything. So this will directly impact the performance of your reports. For example, if you don't need information on tickets closed 1 year ago or before, you can just create a filter that will remove all the tickets from the domain. Or you don't need reports related to an organization that doesn't exist anymore. Just filter this and you will not have that information there. To define a filter, all you need to do is double-click the field you want and configure the expression there. It's quite simple. On the display tab, you specify which columns and calculated fields to expose through the domain and how they appear. So here is where you set what the person building the ad hoc views, building the reports, will see on the list of fields and tables. Typically, you select only columns that are useful in building or filtering reports and omit other columns for simplicity. You can also modify display properties like the labels and descriptions, so it's easier to understand. We have 3 panels, resources, where you have everything that you have in your domain. That includes tables, derived tables, and constants. Constants are calculated fields that will not be related to any table. For example, I can create a new calculated field to give me the current date and time, and just use the today function or getDate function of SQL. This will give me the current date, time, and will not use information from any other table, so it will be constant. Any table that is joined to a different table will create a new join tree. And these join trees are built automatically. You have no control over them. So as you build your joins, it will just create the join trees. On the left panel here, I have sets and items. This is the exact structure that you will show to the user building the reports. You can create these new sets. You can drag and drop fields or tables from resources to your sets. If you drag a table, it will bring the whole table, or you can just bring individual fields. You have these buttons in the center. The first button is Add to Sets. It will bring everything to the root level, to the first level of sets and items. That means it will create a new set if it's a table, or it will just leave a standalone field if it's just a field. If you use the second button, it's Add to Selected Set. You need to select a set on the left panel. Then you select your resource and click the button. It will bring the table as a subset of the selected set, or the field as a field inside that set. Okay? Any more questions, Rich?
No other questions that have come in on WebEx. Just a reminder, we do have a lot of people on the phone, and so if you did come in late, we're using the WebEx Q&A, which should be on the bottom right of your panels on WebEx, so you can ask a question at any point. I'm monitoring it. We have several other product managers monitoring it as well. So we'll answer your questions as they come in, or interrupt Daniel to ask a question on the WebEx.
Okay, thank you. So let's see how this works. The use case we are working is this dashboard. We want to build this dashboard. What do we need to have this done? First thing, we need to add some tables to the domain. We do have project center related tables on the domain already, but I want to add these tables because I can start from scratch and build everything. So we are going to add these 7 tables. Once we have the tables, we are going to create some derived tables. The first 2 derived tables are just a select from the app item. It will be a copy of the tickets table. This is just because I want to relate tickets to projects, and I want to relate tickets to tasks. But projects and tasks will be related as well, and you can create a loop in the joins and result with a blank report. So I'm just creating copies of these tables. Same thing goes to contacts. Projects have a project team, which I'm bringing from VR contacts, and tasks have a task owner, which I'm bringing from the same VR contacts table. I'm just filtering this using this primary because I want to bring all users only once and bring their primary organization. A user can be related to more than one. I want to bring the primary organization. And filtering by route state equals 0, that will bring me only the active users. This kind of filter can also improve the performance of your queries, of your reports. Next, we create some drawings. I have some green and some black. If you look, every green has a black that matches it. So in the first one, I have project ID, then I have allocation project ID. This is my join. This is what I want to match to know what are which allocations are part of each project. In addition, we create another join with the same tables, but using this slice field on both of them. Almost every table in the system will have this slice field. And when you create this join together with the join you need, you will help the system to perform queries faster. Again, improve the performance of the reports and the domain. Okay, so we are going to create all of these joins. Here are some more joins we need, and then we create the calculated fields. Epoch to UTC date time is probably the calculated field you will use the most, because this is what converts epoch date time to UTC date time. Specifically for projects and assets, you will need to do something else. You need to divide by 1,000, because for these 2 pieces of CSM, dates are not in seconds from 1970. They are in milliseconds. So if you do not divide them by 1,000, you will not get a result. Okay, it will let you to create the calculated field. It will not give you an error because it's not checking on the data that is in the field. It will just check on the syntax. But when you try to use the field, it will give you an error. So remember to divide them by 1,000. The approved field is a string field where I have an if, so you know how to build these ifs, these conditions. I will just check if the isApproved field is true. If it is true, I will return yes. If it's not, I will return no. Cost deviation is just a math calculation. I have planned cost minus actual cost. And then we have team member, just a concatenation of project team last name with first name. And time deviation is another math calculation. Okay, so this is what we are going to build. Then we just need to display these tables and fields as we want in a new set. Last, we save and submit the domain. We also need to verify possible problems with the security file. This is an important thing. when you change the joins, you may have a problem with the security file, and I will show you what can happen and how to fix it. Okay.
Hey, Daniel, before you move on, Daniel, there's a couple questions that came in.
Okay.
The first one, if you want to join the same table more than once, do you need to create a derived table? For example, joining CIs to the CIs it's related to.
If you want to join a table to itself, yes, you need to create a derived table. But for example, if you want to have CIs and related CIs, once you understand how the data is structured, you see that you will not really relate CIs to CIs. You will relate CIs to CI rel, which is another table. So I can't see a situation where you will really need to relate a table to itself. But if it happens, create a new derived table as a copy so you can create the join. If you create a join from like the contacts table to contacts table, it will probably return nothing. Make sense?
Makes sense. Thank you. And there's one other question that came in on chat related to importing and exporting reports from one instance to another. I know that's not possible today. It is something we want to be able to achieve in the future. One thing to note, and certainly jump in here, Daniel, is when reports are created on staging and then you have a refresh or a copy done of the whole instance of staging to production, those reports should come over with the latest release, with Bamboo.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So let's move to the real system and build everything we are just talking about for now. Let me just stop this. And where's my okay. So this is a brand new trial instance I have just requested yesterday. So I have no reports built here, and so we can just build everything from scratch. These are the project. This is the project center. So the projects we are going to report on. We can go into to the projects. We have on properties. We have some information we are going to use, like planned cost, actual cost, time, status. All the information will be in the reports we are going to build. So let's move to advanced reporting. These are the out-of-the-box reports. We want to go to actions and edit domain. So we get into the domain designer. Before we go into the domain designer, here's the security file. I said you may have a situation when you change the joins. Let me show you the contents of this file. So this is the file. It's just an XML file where I have the join trees. So join tree 5, join tree 8, 6, etc. Each one of these groups is filtering based on the organization information of the logged in user and the organization information on the records. So VAP item person 1 org ID is the organization of the records, and I'm comparing this to the logged in user to see if this user is related to an organization that has access to this ticket in this case. So when you move the joins around, the join trees numbers may change. So all you need to do is to compare the join trees you have on your domain to the join trees you have here. For example, the VAP item table, is it in the join tree 5? If it is, good. If it's not, just update the number of the join tree here. We are going to do this later. Okay, the local bundles, these are the localization bundles. I have one here as well. Let me show you. Oops. Where is it? Okay. So all they have are the descriptions and labels of your reports with the translations. For example, task name label would be nome da tarefa in Portuguese, because this is the Cloud SM domain PTBR. So you have one of these for each one of the supported languages, and you can update them with the new fields or labels you create if you need it. Okay, so clicking Edit with Domain Designer, I will go into the Domain Designer itself, where I have my 6 tabs with tables, derived tables, joins, calculated fields, pre-filters, and display. Checking on my PowerPoint here, the tables I need to move from data source to select tables are ITPM allocations, projects, project ticket row, task board lane, tasks, time log, and VR contacts. Just click here, it will move everything to the selected tables, and I'm done. Okay, you can always expand to see details of which fields are coming with this table. And next step would be to create my derived tables. As I said, the derived table is just a query. So you can just type in select everything from VApp item. Run this query. It will show me all the fields I get with this query. I can select all of them or select some of them. If I am only interested in, like, for example, ticket number, I can just select ticket number or CCTI category. You can select how many fields you need. I'll name these as project tickets, because I'm going to join these to projects, and these will be the tickets that are related to projects. Same thing again. Let me just make this bigger. I don't know if everyone can read what I'm typing in. Project, task, tickets. Again, run query and save the table. Next, I'll copy and paste because it's a long query, so big chance of making mistakes. And name it will be project team. Oops, team. Run. It will bring me all fields related to the users. Save table. Again, the same query for task owner. Run and save. Okay, so I have all tables and derived tables I need for my reports, but they still need to be related to each other. So I know which tasks belong to each lanes, which lane belong to each dashboard, or to each project, and so on. So first join I'm going to create is for ITPM projects. So here I have my ITPM projects table, and projects have an ID. If I look to the allocation table, ITPM allocation has a field project ID. So I want all projects with the related allocations, or that means the related people for that project. So I want a left join. And as I said, you always need to create this join using slice and slice. When I click here, it will tell me these tables are already joined, and it will create a composite key. That means I will have these two joins working as one. If I change the join type of one of them, it will change the join type of both. Okay, so they work together. Okay, next join I need to create is also for projects, but this time I will relate projects to the task board lane. Just to make this more visual, so here's a project. The first join I created was to bring this information. Who are the people working on this project? The join I'm going to create right now will bring me these lanes. So I have pilot phase, link server preparation, install link server. So these are the lanes. This is what I'm joining now. So project ID goes to ID, left join, slice goes to slice, left join, and OK for the composite key. Next, I will relate the projects to the project tickets, which is the derived table I have created. So project tickets is right here. And the tickets also have an ID, but in the case of tickets, most of tables will use this row ID. Tickets is one of them. Tickets has a row ID, and projects will have okay, hold on. No. I'm good. I'm doing the wrong table. So first, before I do this, I have to go to ITPM project tickets row. This table will bring me the relationship between project and ticket. It's not a direct link. And this is what I was talking about with the CIs. CIs will also have this relationship table. So when you have a CI related to another CI, you have a CI relationship table that will bring me the parent CI and the related CI. Okay, so my mistake here, I'm going to project ID and ID, left table, left join, slice, and slice, left join. Okay. Now that I have this first relationship, I will get the same project tickets rel, ticket ID, and then I can relate to the project tickets using row ID. Same thing, row ID, ticket ID, left join, slice, slice, left join. Okay? Okay, now I have projects related to the tickets. Next, I'm going to relate the allocations to the users. So in allocation, I have the user ID. And on project team, I have row ID. Again, I want all of the projects and just the users that are related, slice with slice. So here's my left outer join. One more time now for the lanes. Each one of the lanes have one or more tasks on it. So we want to create this relationship. I have the lane ID, and on ITPM tasks, I have lane ID. Again, I want to bring all lanes, no matter if they have a task or not, so I will use a left join. Slice, left join, composite key, okay. One more time now for tasks, and I will join tasks to the time log. You can add time logs to tasks. So if you go here, you can type in like 2 hours and add time log. So this is what I'm joining now. So ITPM time logs have a task ID and tasks have an ID. So left join, slice, left join. Okay, this is done. Then we need to relate the tasks to the task owners, which is the other derived table we have created. Owner has a row ID, and the tasks have owner ID. Left join, slice, left join. Last join we need to create is from tasks to project task tickets. Again, using row ID. Task will have ticket ID. And then we create another left join because I want all the tasks. And if there is a ticket, I want to bring the ticket. Okay, we are done with the joins. We created all joins we need for this dashboard. Next, we need to create some calculated fields. Some important things on calculated fields. First, you can create calculated fields here, and you can also create calculated fields on the ad hoc builder where you build your reports. You can do both. Some things will work better here, some things will work better there, but one thing is for sure. Fields you use often, you better create calculated fields here, because when you create on the ad hoc view, it's related to that ad hoc view only. If you create another ad hoc view and use the same field, you have to create the calculated field again. So all date fields, I usually create the calculated fields here, so I have them done every time I create a new report. As I said, you have all the join trees here. They are built automatically. And now I just have to find where the new tables are. So join tree 6. Here I have all the tables I have created joins. And the question is, why is VR contacts outside? Why is it not here? Because I have not created a join between any of these tables to VR contacts. This was just a source for these project team and task owner derived tables. So VR contacts is not really in use. I'm using a derived table that uses that as a from in the query. Okay. Let's start by project start time. This is in projects, and here I have start time or start date. Start date is a field that brings me the epoch information, so I have to create a new field, epoch to UTC date time. If I double click the field, it will bring me the reference. Close. This is a timestamp field, and the name will be date project start. Some functions on calculated fields are case sensitive. So, for example, if you're using str to int, this will transform strings into integer. It works on lowercase. If you do it on uppercase, it will not work. Okay, so remember that some are case sensitive. Okay, I'll just save this new field. New fields have this green icon, so you know it's a calculated field. And for the next fields, I will just copy and paste. so it's faster. Okay. Oh, and now I see I forgot the divided by 1000. Timestamp. This is date, project, and you can use whatever name you want. I just use date and the field name because it makes it easier for me to find the fields when I'm building the reports. So the project starts, I need to divide by 1000 and save. Remember I said it will not give you an error message. So you will only see it when you try to use the field. Okay, next one. Another important thing, I don't need to be on the correct join tree. I can be whatever I want. I can be on constants. If I type in my expression and save the field, project, created, it will save it in the right place because I have a field reference that is in a table there. So you don't need to go to the table. It will already save in the right place. Okay. Next, I have my if. So if condition result if condition is true, result if condition is false, then you have it. So my field name will be approved. Save. Cost deviation will be this. It will be a float, and the field name will be cost deviation. Save. So I have my first fields done. I have only two more. One is a concatenation. Concatenate.
And Daniel, while you're typing that in, I'll just remind folks, feel free to ask a question on WebEx. We have about just under 10 minutes left. So if you want to ask any questions, feel free on WebEx. Additionally, this is a two-part WebEx, so next week we'll continue, and Daniel will then show sort of the results of the work here of creating those joins and calculated fields, and show the results and how to actually create a report on that.
Okay. Now I have all my fields, all my calculated fields. The only thing I need to do is go to display, create a new set, which I will call, using the properties here, I will call it project center. Label key and description key are the keys used by the localization files. So I can call this project center label and project center description and save it. This save takes a while. Once I have it done, I can just go to my join tree and bring everything to sets and items. Okay, so my join tree is join tree 6. As I said, you can just bring everything, a complete table, or I could bring like just a few fields, for example, team member. I can also create subsets on sets. I can create them manually, or I can just select ITPM projects and bring, for example, project tickets. So now this project tickets is underneath ITPM projects. And I can also bring others to here, for example, tasks. Okay, you can build your sets and items the way you want. I'll do this. I'll bring everything. So when we build the reports, I can show you some things on the fields we are not using. Okay. On the top here, we have check design. This will verify if your design has any errors. For example, if you're referencing a field that does not exist anymore, or a field that is not in the tables that you have moved to the selected tables, or a calculated field that you have removed, or a join that doesn't exist, or if you have added, for example, VR context to this set, it will give you an error because you can only have sets with tables that are joined. You cannot have a table that is not part of the same join tree inside the same set. So this will just check that. Export design, we will export everything we have done to an XML file. Sometimes support will ask you to do that, so you know where to go. Open your domain designer, click export design, and you will get the XML file. An export bundle will export the base bundle so you can build another localization file. That's it. So as I said, the last thing you need to do is click OK and submit. But there is one thing you need to verify, which is the security file. So for example, here I have join tree 5 is related to the app item. If I look at my join tree 5, I don't have the app item here anymore. So I need to find out where the app item is. It's join tree 3 now, and update this. 3. On join tree 8, I have CIs. I go to my join tree 8. I don't have CIs here. I have CIs on join tree 9. On join tree 6, I have assets, which are probably in another join tree, because join tree 6 is now my ITPM. Project app S is join tree 4. On 3 we have projects, ITPM projects. On 3, nope, ITPM project is on 2 now. And on 1, I'm looking for project tasks, which is now where is it? Oh, it's probably join tree 1, but it's not here. So it keeps as join tree 1, and join tree 4 is my ITPM associations. Just saw here, it's join tree 8. So last one is join tree 7 with ITPM task time log. Task time log now is 5. Okay, just save this. I'll save it to my desktop so I can click OK here. It will check my design, see if there are any errors. If there are no errors, it will bring me back the page where I have the security file, and I can replace that security file with this new one and save my domain, and we are done. While this is saving, if there is anyone with questions.
So just a few things that came in. One was, are we planning on automating the manual corrections to the security file? Absolutely. You know, I think what's important to note is we will continue to improve advanced reporting and continue to make many of these things that Daniel's showing today automated and out of the box. you know, for this webcast, we really wanted Daniel to go through a complex example that touches on all the things that you could do with advanced reporting. We know not everybody's going to need these or do these types of changes, but we really wanted these recorded and shared with the community so that if you do need to know how to do a join, you can refer to this webcast later. If you do need to know how to create a calculated field, you do know how to do this going forward. So we wanted to make that all available here and take a very complex example, and you can break that apart and do some nice things from that. Again, additionally, many of the things that Daniel's showing, we want to make out-of-the-box reports or out-of-the-box tables, and as we move forward in future releases, is have these things much easier to do. But for now, we wanted to present all the information, give you all the tools that are available to you, and allow you to leverage what you see fit and do some of the awesome stuff that Daniel's showing as well.
Okay. I have just replaced the security file and submit my domain, so it's now saved. Once you see this page as it is right now, you know your domain has been saved. So you can create a new ad hoc view and see all the tables there. So you can create new reports. This part, I'm not talking about these right now, but just to show you the tables are there, the fields are there. We are going to go through details of this next week. So any other questions? Nope.
There's a couple more that are coming in on WebEx that I'll address here on WebEx, but I know I do like to try to end on time. There was one question, will we add more out-of-the-box content, whether that's data sources or reports? Absolutely. You know, with each release, we'll continue to add more data sets. So data sets are the things you use to drag and drop and create reports or ad hoc views, as well as more attributes to the existing ones. And additionally, we'll start moving many of those standard reports, as they're called today, that are based on a different reporting platform. We'll move those over into advanced reporting and provide more and more content out of the box.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, and hopefully I will see you next week.
Yep, so just as far as logistics, next week, same time, Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. The recording will be put on the community site as well as the PowerPoint or the presentation. Additionally, I'll hang around to address other questions that come in on the WebEx, but we'll go ahead and stop the actual WebEx and shut down the recording as well for now. But thank you, everyone who joined. I really appreciate all the interaction. We did have one of the highest number of attendees we've had in a long time, so that's great to see the interest in advanced reporting. And look to see everyone in the community. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. Bye-bye.